Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Naresh Magu with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he is proud to serve a nation that is marching forward with undeterred resolve. Prime Minister inaugurates first ever National Training Conclave at Pragati Maidan in the national capital. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says BJP will work to make a Tamilian Prime Minister of the country in future. Government says India's efforts proved instrumental in Canada's decision to halt deportation of some Indian students. Very severe cyclonic storm Biparjoy intensifies into extremely severe cyclonic storm in Arabian Sea, and in tennis, Novak Djokovic to take on Casper Ruud in men's singles final of French Open today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said he is proud to serve a nation that is marching forward with an undeterred resolve. In a tweet with the hashtag 9 years of India First, Mr. Modi said that from multilateral platforms to Atmanirbhar Bharat to Make in India, every stride is a testament to the strength and spirit of Indian people. Mr. Modi's remarks come amidst BJP organizing various programs across the country as part of a mega public outreach to mark 9 years of the Modi government. The Prime Minister shared a write-up on his government following a nation-first approach and prioritizing national security. He also shared articles on MyGov highlighting his government's nation-first foreign policy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today inaugurated the first ever National Training Conclave at the International Exhibition and Convention Centre at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. The conclave is aimed at strengthening the training infrastructure for civil servants across the country. It is being hosted by the Capacity Building Commission. More than 1,500 representatives from various training institutes, including central training institutes, state administrative training institutes, regional and zonal training institutes, and research institutes are participating in the conclave. Civil servants from the central government departments, state governments, and local governments, as well as experts from the private sector, are taking part in the deliberations. The conclave will have 8 panel discussions, each focusing on key concerns related to civil services training institutes such as faculty development, training impact assessment, and content digitization. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah blamed the DMK for letting go of the opportunity of making a Tamilian the Prime Minister. He said that the opportunity of a Prime Minister was lost not once but twice. In the meeting held with the booth-level workers of the party today, Mr. Shah said that BJP will work to make a Tamilian a Prime Minister in the future. He also said that the party is looking forward to contesting in 25 constituencies in the state in 2024. Earlier in the day, Mr. Shah met prominent persons from various sections of the society and held discussions with them. The meeting was attended by Union Minister of State Dr. L. Murugan and former Union Ministers and senior leaders of the state BJP. The Home Minister will depart for Vellore this afternoon by a special aircraft. He is scheduled to participate in a public meeting in the evening. The meeting will highlight the achievements of the BJP government in the past 9 years. Security has been strengthened at Vellore in view of his visit. The Indian government's consistent efforts have been instrumental in the Canadian government's decision to halt the deportation of some Indian students in Canada. India has been taking up the matter of these Indian students who were threatened with deportation for allegedly submitting fraudulent admission letters to Canadian authorities. Sources said the actual number of students is much less than the 700 being reported in the media. They said most of these students had gone to Canada during 2017 to 2019, and some of them obtained work permits after completing their studies. Sources said External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar took up the matter with his Canadian counterpart. Secretary East Saurabh Kumar also raised it during his visit to Canada in April this year. The Indian consulate in Toronto, where most of the students are based, have met many of them. Sources said that Canadian authorities were repeatedly urged to be fair and take a humanitarian approach since the students were not at fault. It was also pointed out that there were gaps in the Canadian system and a lack of diligence, owing to which the students were granted visas and also allowed to enter Canada. Since then, the Canadian parliamentarians across political parties have spoken in support of the students. Immigration Minister Sean Fraser has indicated that Canada is actively pursuing a solution for international students who are facing uncertainty. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has acknowledged the need for fair treatment of students. Some students have recently received stay orders on their deportation notices. Sources said it is welcomed that the Canadian government has adopted a humane approach and taken on board the perspective of the students. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India CAG is hosting a 3-day SAI 20 summit under India's G20 presidency in Goa from tomorrow. Supreme Audit Institutions SAI 20 is the engagement group of audit organizations belonging to the G20 countries. CAG Girish Chandra Murmu will deliver the inaugural address at the SAI 20 summit tomorrow. The 3-day summit will conclude on Wednesday. Our correspondent reports that SAIs of Australia, Brazil, Indonesia, South Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Nigeria, Oman, Spain, UAE, Morocco and Poland will participate in the summit. Besides, delegates from invitee countries and international organizations will also attend the event. The SAI 20 engagement group's two priority areas are blue economy and responsible artificial intelligence. A report.
During the SAI 20 summit, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, CAG, is expected to present a summary on blue economy and responsible artificial intelligence (AI). Blue economy is the sustainable use of oceanic resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods and jobs while preserving the health of the ecosystem. With the AI making greater inroads into governance, adopting it into audit techniques can increase their effectiveness. The SAI 20 summit will offer a platform for sharing of knowledge and experiences by eminent panelists during the Insights on Blue Economy and Responsible AI. According to the CAG, consensus will be derived on the future role and responsibilities of SAI 20 Engagement Group in fostering accountability in governance and partnering with governments to respond to global challenges. Zakir Nazir, Akashwani News, Panaji, Goa.
This is Akashwani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. On the completion of the NDA government's 9 years in office, Akashwani News brings you a series of special stories on the initiatives taken by the government. Today, we take a look at Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana.
A sizable percentage of the senior citizens suffers from some sort of disabilities related to old age and needs aids like walking stick, wheelchair. There are many elders whose economic condition is not so good that they can buy such necessary equipment for themselves in their old age. Keeping this in mind, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched the Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana in April 2017. The objective of this scheme is to provide physical aids and such devices that can assist senior citizens belonging to BPL category in their living. This is a central sector scheme fully funded by the central government. Under this scheme, assistive devices are provided free of cost by the government to the elderly citizens living below the poverty line as per their needs. Economically weak people above 60 years of age can take benefit of this scheme by applying online on the official website. This scheme is proving to be very helpful for those poor elderly people who have to depend on others for the assistive devices needed in old age. This scheme is helping such old age people to become self-reliant and live with dignity. Vikalp Shukla, Akashwani News, Raipur.
The Gujarat Anti-Terrorist Squad has arrested 3 youths associated with the banned terrorist organization Islamic State of Khorasan Province ISKP, who were preparing to leave India via the sea route of Porbandar in Gujarat to Afghanistan via Iran. Gujarat ATS has stated these youths were to participate in terrorist acts in the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan on the instructions of the ISKP commando. Apart from these youths, a woman has also been arrested from Surat based on this information. These 3 youths are from Kashmir. Mobile phones, tablets and sharp weapons have been recovered from these youths. By accessing the cloud storage of these persons, ISKP banners, photos with flags and swearing videos and audio were found. Interrogating these individuals has revealed they had become radicalized at the behest of their handler Abu Hamza and had joined the Islamic State of Khorasan province. The India Meteorological Department IMD has said very severe cyclonic storm Biparjoy has intensified into extremely severe cyclonic storm over East Central Arabian Sea. Senior scientist at IMD R.K. Janamani has said that it has moved northeastwards with a speed of 8 kilometers per hour during the past 6 hours.
Extremely severe cyclonic storm Biparjoy over East Central Arabian Sea during past 6 hours moved to northeastward at a speed 8 km, and now it is 560 km west of Mumbai, 460 km southwest of Porbandar, 510 km southwest of Devbhumi Dwarka, and 600 km southwest of Nalia. It is very likely to move nearly northward till 14th morning.
It is likely to then move northeastwards and cross Saurashtra and Kutch and adjoining Pakistan coasts between Mandvi and Karachi around noon on 15th June as a very severe cyclonic storm. The IMD has warned that the storm could cause heavy rain and strong winds in coastal areas of Karnataka, Goa and Maharashtra. Light to moderate rainfall is likely at most places, with heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places over Kutch, Devbhumi Dwarka, Porbandar, Jamnagar, Rajkot, Junagadh and Morbi districts of Saurashtra and Kutch on 14th June. Meanwhile, fishermen have been cautioned not to venture out into the seas off the coast of Gujarat, Kerala, Karnataka and Lakshadweep. At least 25 people were killed and more than 140 injured as heavy rain and thunderstorms hit several parts of Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab yesterday. As per the Provincial Disaster Management Authority, people were killed in rain-related incidents in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Bannu, Dera Ismail Khan, Karak and Lucky Marwat. It added that at least 69 houses were partially damaged by rain. Several flights were diverted and delayed in Islamabad and Lahore due to bad weather yesterday. In French Open tennis, 2-time champion Novak Djokovic will take on Norwegian Casper Ruud in the men's singles final today. Another victory would give Djokovic his 3rd French Open title, and he would also become the first man to win each of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments at least 3 times. On the other hand, Ruud reached the finals of the French Open and the US Open in 2022, but lost on both the occasions against Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz respectively. At Roland Garros, Ruud won only 6 games in 3 sets. Djokovic and Ruud have never played each other in a Grand Slam, but have met 4 times on the ATP Tour, with the Serb winning all the matches and not even dropping a set. In cricket, India will resume their second innings with their overnight score of 123 for 4 on the final day of the World Test Championship final at the Oval in England today. Virat Kohli on 44 and Ajinkya Rahane on 20 were at the crease. India still need 280 runs to win the match with 7 wickets in hand. Earlier, Australia declared their second innings at 270 for the loss of 8 wickets. India will have to shatter the record for the highest successful run chase in the history of Test cricket to win the WTC final encounter. Ace Indian long jumper Murali Srishankar secured a creditable 3rd place in the Paris Diamond League with a jump of 8.09 meters in his maiden podium finish in the prestigious one-day meeting series in Paris. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says he is proud to serve a nation that is marching forward with an undeterred resolve. Prime Minister inaugurates first ever national training conclave at Pragati Maidan in the national capital. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says BJP will work to make a Tamilian Prime Minister of the country in future. Government says India's efforts proved instrumental in Canada's decision to halt deportation of some Indian students. Very severe cyclonic storm Biparjoy intensifies into extremely severe cyclonic storm in Arabian Sea. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic to take on Casper Ruud in men's singles final of French Open today. And with that, we end the midday news.